So emotional decluttering, what is it then and why is it relevant to our money mindset? Well, we've already discussed that decluttering of all types, so whether it be mental, emotional or physical, is essential if you want to grow your money mindset and help with manifesting. And that is because things that are taking up space in your reality may not serve you a purpose now. So they may have at one stage, but they may not serve you now. And if that space is being taken up by these things that you no longer need, then there is no room for new things to come into your reality. So what I mean by emotional decluttering then, well, this would be memories that you have held on to that are maybe creating limiting beliefs or your money story. So these emotions and memories go way back right through to your childhood. So it could be first things that you learned about money. So think back, what did you first hear your parents say about money? Did you hear money doesn't grow on trees? Money was the root of all evil. There was never enough money. What did you pick up during your time growing up, going through school? What did you learn about money? Did you see a difference in those that were rich and went to the likes of boarding school compared to those who just attended the everyday secondary school? When you started working, what were your memories around money? Did you think that you deserved to be paid more for what you do? Did you feel worthy of the money? Because these are all memories that we have that we are replaying and we hold some emotional attachment to, and we're replaying them over and over and over in our mind and in our system, in our energy field, and therefore we are creating limiting beliefs ourselves by replaying these beliefs over and over. So an old belief is something that keeps showing up in your life. Every time you try to do something that moves you forward, then boom, surprise, surprise, this shows up and just snaps you right back. So this means your old belief is stronger than your new operating belief. Okay, so you may be telling yourself that you're moving forward, that you want to be filled with abundance, that you want to attract more money, but something inside you may be resistant to that, because you may want to attract more money, but at the same time there may be a fear inside that if you attract more money, this will happen, that will happen, or whatever it may be. So why is this? It's because you have gained evidence everywhere of your old beliefs, okay? And that's how they were created, because you've seen this in your system over and over and over. You've seen it happening in your reality, and it meant that you were gaining a lot of evidence for that thought. So thoughts that we replay over and over and over, and then we start to look for evidence of it to make it even stronger. They then become our belief system. So you've created the habit or pattern. So when something happens, you automatically just snap back to that old belief. If you're trying to do everything about something, but you still can't manifest it, and you keep seeing the same pattern over and over again, then these are all signs that you have old limiting beliefs operating. We can start to develop these from when we are born, as we're really receptive as kids and don't filter anything. Being aware of the effort it is going to take to shift these beliefs. Because if you've spent years building your beliefs, do you really think that 10 minutes of mindset work a day is going to simply be enough to shift it? We are, after all, creatures of habit, even if we don't like the results. So what we need to do is create a realistic plan on how we are going to shift this old belief. Every time you work to shift, this subconscious is working twice as hard to keep the old belief in. So here are just a few ways that we are going to actually identify what it is that is the old belief that we are having and how we can shift it. So first of all, we need to go to the root of the old belief. So, what is your beliefs around money? Well, first things first, I need you to take out a pen and paper, and you are going to jot down all those negative beliefs that you can think of around money. So, like, money doesn't grow on trees, money is the root of all evil, there's never enough, I can't afford that. Whatever you can think of, maybe it's spiritual people don't deserve to be paid for their services, people in my niche can't make that type of money. Write down every old belief that you can think of that is impacting your money mindset. So all those negative beliefs and emotions around money. Now we're going to go through a quick 6-step process on how to shift them. Now you will need to pause this and come back to it as you do each step, but for the purposes of the video I'm just going to run through it quickly. So first of all, I want you to go to the root of that old belief. So you'll need to do it each one in turn, okay? For step 1 anyway. Look at those beliefs. So whether it was money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy and selfish, whatever it may be, look at that old belief and think, how was this for your mum and dad? How did it feel like? And really get into those emotions. Be as vivid and descriptive as you can, because this makes it easier to shift. I need you to become a real detective of your own emotions and beliefs. Because when you have this story in your awareness, then you can release it. But you need to be aware of it before you can release it. So awareness is key. It's the first step to shifting any old belief. Next, I want you to go through each part of your story and tap on it. So we're going to be using EFT. Tap on the feelings. So to release the charge that you have around these. Because if you don't, then there's no time, or there's no point. You're just wasting your time going through this saying that, oh yes, that's fine. I realise now that I have that belief in my system. It's impacted me in a negative way, and yes, I'm releasing it. But if you don't actually release that emotional charge you have around those feelings by using something like EFT, well then you're just wasting your own time and energy. And all the great money manifesting gurus, so all those top money mindset coaches, Denise Duffield Thomas, Margaret Lynch, they all recommend that EFT is the best way to release your emotional charge around any of these feelings attached to these old negative beliefs. When you have done that, and do as many rounds as you need to, when you have done that, I want you to write down, what is the payoff for you holding on to these negative beliefs? You know, why is it a good idea that you're still hanging on to all of these? Why not release them? What is the payoff for having them? Next, I want you to make a list of what are you missing out on by holding on to these negative beliefs. And what I want you to do is compare both lists. And you'll need to have more on this list to make it seductive enough to release and get rid of that old belief. Because if you have more on your list of payoffs, then as we know, we are but creatures of habit. So even if we don't like our situation and the results it's producing, we'll stick with what we know rather than release it, because it's habit and we resist change. So your list of what you're missing out on by holding on to these beliefs needs to be a lot more encouraging and exciting and seductive than the list of payoffs. When we have done this, next we're going to move on to some forgiveness around the situations, beliefs, people involved, and even yourself. So think of all those money memories. You know, did you ask for a doll when you were 5 and your mum said, I'm sorry, we can't afford that? Maybe you asked for a pay raise when you were 25 and you were told, no, you're not getting it. Were you embarrassed at the checkout when you went to pay for your shopping and your card was declined, think of all those memories around money that are having a negative impact on you. All those situations you found yourself in. Maybe you felt guilty or ashamed for spending, getting into debt. And all the people involved, including yourself. Now is the time to do forgiveness around this. And you can do it in whatever way you want to yourself. But the main method I would choose, but that's partly because I'm biased as I am trained in it, is the Hawaiian method of forgiveness. Ho'oponopono. And what we do here is we simply go through each one in turn. Really take 2 minutes to get into that situation. So relive it, feel those feelings, and then say, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I love you, and thank you. Now, I'm not going to get into the meaning behind all of this at the moment, because that's too in-depth for this training. But for now, that is a perfect way to do forgiveness around this. And remembering that you're not just forgiving others, you're forgiving yourself. You're letting go of all that old resentment and anger and negative energy that you're holding on to. And you're creating space for new positive things to come into your life. And finally, now that you have released something, you need to bring in something new, like positive affirmations to create new beliefs and really, really ground them into your new reality. And I do recommend positive affirmations because they're the quickest way of grounding your new beliefs into your system. But what I will say is be careful in the new positive affirmations you choose to use. If you've spent the last 10 or 15 years believing that you never have enough, now suddenly telling yourself that you're abundant, you're a millionaire, you have always more than enough, it may not sound true. And if you are repeating affirmations that don't feel true to you, that you don't resonate with, it's not going to do any difference because your ego is going to jump in and say, well, hold on here, no, this is not true at all. And it's only going to cause you more anxiety and frustration. So why not start small? Take it in baby steps. Choose something like, I am open to receiving. I am willing to be abundant. Something that does sound true to you now. And when you have repeated that enough and that has filtered into your system and it feels good, then go with more expansive ones like, I am abundant. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. Whatever it may be. But for now, use baby steps. And affirmations are great because you can write them down and stick them everywhere as representation. Stick them on your mirror, stick them on your fridge so that every time you see them, you'll be reminded. You can repeat them daily during the day. You can sing them for more oomph behind them. You can tap on them, make them into a tap formation. Or you can journal them, just write them out daily. Whatever you choose to do is up to you. But remember just to start with affirmations that ring true to you and really, really ground them into your new reality. Because remember, our beliefs are simply thoughts that we have told ourselves over and over and over. So that's exactly what positive affirmations are. They're creating more positive, empowering beliefs in our system so that we can get rid of all that emotional clutter and boost our money mindset.